minutes there, Donald.
Cheers. Laissez aller là, si tu veux, avant. Okay, for those who don't know me, I think you all do, but just in case, Donald Andre Bruneau. Today is it's 1 year ago that Cy Winter, a great pro-lifer, a man who stood only 12 feet from the door of death of the abortion clinic, where he butchered and killed babies at 65 Bank. So I knew Cy very well, and several times I went to his place. He invited me for lunch. He's a good cook. And 3 weeks before he passed away, I was there to do an interview because he had been unfairly arrested by the Ottawa police. And we were going to do an interview, you'll hear it in a second, for him to give to his lawyer. So, and as they would go to court, that was his intention, to take his case to court. So that's a bit of background for you to understand why I'm sharing this. So as we sat in his, after supper, as we sat in his apartment, I had pen and paper in hand, and I took, as a secretary, I took notes. And here's the interview that I had with Cy, plus I'm adding a few things of my own in here as I go, okay? So I looked at Cy and I said, Cy, when did you become pro-life? I've always been pro-life in my worldview. Cy, what has inspired you to be a pro-life advocate for the preborn babies? There was two people. Father Tony Van He, a priest who had been protesting abortion in Parliament Hill in Ottawa for some 28 plus years. He does this by showing graphic signs of aborted babies. Another priest named Father Frank Pavoni, who founded Priests for Life in the USA, also has been a great inspiration to me. Father Pavoni would often say, quote, unless you see the graphic images depicting the horror of abortion, you will not act against abortion. You must be brokenhearted to get you to act against abortion. And one must continue to be brokenhearted. You know, I interject here. Many people, pro-choice people will say, you know, oh, it's just a blob of cells. Well, this is the very beginning, when the sperm enters the female egg, okay? Then look at this. This is the next step. The baby is already in the form of a baby. A little bit bigger. In the 5th week. In the 7th week. In the 8th week. And not long after that, the baby comes out, if they haven't killed it before. Now, what I'm going to show here is not nice. It's never nice to see a human being that's been killed or hurt or wounded in any way, shape, or form. But as Father Pavoni said, and as Father Tony spent 28 years showing, Father Tony's favorite sign was Malachi here. Malachi, a baby in the United States, he's literally torn apart piece by piece. And those were some of the signs similar to this. Danielle, another one, I don't have it here with me, but a little bit similar to that. Was a baby butchered. Here's another one. hands, legs, limbs. This is what they do every day, all over the world in abortion clinics. So you know, as Carol in her talk read, we're in a great battle. Evil is not shy to show its face. And I think one of the greatest places it's showing its face is in the abortion clinics. And I think Cy realized that very well, and that's why he was so dedicated. I continue with my interview with Cy. Cy, when did you start protesting abortion? I started protesting abortion across the street from 65 Bank in Ottawa, where the Morgantown Abortion Clinic is located, in the end of April in 2011. Cy, when did you cross the street in order to be very near to the entrance to the abortion clinic? I crossed the street in March of 2013. He was only 10, 12 feet away from the door. And here are positive highlights of my 5 years, of Cy's 5 years in front of 65 Bank Street. First, 7 babies' lives were saved from suffering and death by abortion. 7, minimum that he knows of. 14 souls were saved. These people have souls, the babies and the parents. A mother returned with a 2-week-old baby that she was going to abort, but changed her mind. After she saw my graphic signs, this encouraged me greatly. Fourth, a pro-life, this one's very interesting. A pro-life pregnant woman approached me during my first year of protesting. She said to me, "My doctor said I should abort my baby because it is an ectopic pregnancy." Cy advised her to get a second opinion. The second doctor said her baby was dead. Cy recommended a third opinion. The result? The baby was born and is now 4 years old in 2018. That story Cy had shared personally with me on Bank Street. Many, many things he shared with me. Okay, next, I received encouragement and prayers from pro-lifers of 40 Days for Life. Cyril gave out Silent No More awareness cards to people who regretted their abortion and needed support. One pro-life lady supports me with pro-life literature. My friend, Andre Bruneau, who protested on Parliament Hill, he has been a great help to me, especially during the time the Ottawa police were intensely harassing me. He took videos and is a witness to this. I interject here to tell you that if you really want to see some good videos of my interviews with Cy, you go to Donald Andre Bruneau YouTube. It's on the bottom of that picture behind me. And there's at least 10 videos. I'll just give you a few titles. One of the latest ones I did was Cyril peeling an apple in his apartment. This is a humorous one. It's only 2 minutes. Okay, but anyways, you see the Cyril that's relaxed at home. It's beautiful. It's worth watching. Cyril Winter continues his battle against abortion in spite of the new bubble zone law. I was there on the street when Adrian Harewood of the CBC came to talk and did an unofficial interview of Cy. It's very good. Cyril Winter, interviewed by myself in front of the National Rights Monument on Elgin Street. This is also a very good one. And then to explain to you how the bubble zone came to be and everything, and how Cyril was smeared by the media, the fake news. If you go to the video, Cyril responds to libelous article by Heather Malik, a journalist of Toronto Star. That gives you a good insight into how mean and how evil and how full of lies the media can be. In this case, Heather Malik of the Toronto Star. Another one is the positive effects of graphic abortion signs. I particularly focused on that with Cyril, the effect that those signs have on people. There's another one, Cyril debates abortion with an abortionist. Okay. Persecution highlights. Try to place yourself, as I read this, in the person of Cy, in front of Bank Street. 15 days of intense persecution by the Ottawa police at the beginning of my protesters, which were about 12 feet away from the entrance to the abortion clinic. Note, Andre Bruneau was a witness. Also, there are many videos about my abortion protests. Videos can be seen by going to Andre Bruneau YouTube. I asked the question, can you describe to me the many different forms of persecution that you endured in front of your clinic? Answer, the middle finger, the F word, several death threats. I'll stop here before I move on. There was one time, Cyril in the end, he had heart problems because of a blocked valve going to the heart. So he was losing energy, he was very tired. So in the end, he faced the door of the abortion clinic and his back was to the street. It's a very busy street, Bank Street. And he was sitting on a stool similar to Father Tony here, a post with a sheet on it kind of thing. But his back was to the street. So suddenly, he's sitting down, a pouring of spit is falling upon him. A big man has his two hands on his shoulders and he's pulling him to the street. His plan was to pull him onto the street and hopefully a truck or a car would run over him. So Cy had to think quick, and this he told me himself. Now Cy, other than this event, I've never heard of him saying anything mean or evil to anybody, or punching anybody, or hurting anybody. But this situation was a case of saving his life. So as Carol mentioned in the sharing of John Patrick, Cy was in pretty good shape before this had happened. But even then, he still had a fair amount of energy. So to save himself from death, he says, Donald, I went like this. He hit the guy right in the jaw, and that was the end of it. But he had to save his life. Now, I believe I can attest this was the only time that Cy ever used any violence, but it was self-defense, period. I continue with the forms of persecution. Move away to the other side of the street. Threats of physical violence, swearing, being spit upon, physical assault. Example, one guy body checked me and damaged my right shoulder. You're a man. What do you know about abortion? Shame on you. I'm sure there's many more that Cy could have talked about, but those just give you some idea of the persecution he underwent. Then he continued about Heather Malik. Journalist Heather Malik of Toronto Star on April 20th, 2017, wrote an article about me. She made many lies about me, such as saying that I was spitting at people going into the abortion clinic. And I remember Cy telling me once, when the Ottawa police were trying to say to him that, you know, we're hearing that you're spitting at people, you're spitting at the woman going in, Cy said, no, 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 no. Everything I do is videotaped by the video cameras of the abortion center. Ottawa police go upstairs and look at the video cameras. You will see Never do I spit at anybody. Never do I use any violence. I don't believe the Ottawa police checked out what he wanted them to do, but that was his defense, because he knew every move he made was on video. Examples of persecution. Tons, and this, I remember Cy telling me, the very day that the article came out by Heather Mallett, she made him look like a demon. She made him look so bad that all day there was persecution, one after the other. Tons of spitting on me, which continues to this day, at me, around me, in my ears, in my mouth, in my eyes. Put yourself in that position. 2 attempted murders to push me off the sidewalk into the street, into the way of moving traffic. Daily harassment by 2 individual men. I know one of them. One person said, "My friends are going to rape you." The theft of my signs. The theft of my cameras. Harassment by Ottawa police. I personally have seen, being on the other side of the street in the winter, 2 Ottawa police, like 2 foxes, circling a chicken, Cy being the chicken, going around and around and around him and trying to put fear into him and intimidate him. Okay? And it was that one day that I was on the other side of the street with my camera, videotaping those police. And then one of them spotted me and came over and insisted that I hand over my camera. I did. He deleted all my pictures, gave me my camera back. But that backfired because I contacted Sun News, I was interviewed, and right after that, the heat was on the Ottawa police, chief of the Ottawa police, and on the mayor. Within a week, the detective went upstairs to the abortion clinic, and there was no more calls made by the abortion clinic against Cy. There was peace after that. Question. Now this is very important. How do you reply, Cy? How do you react when you're persecuted? Answer. I tell them, love the babies in Jesus' name. God bless you with a conversion. That was his usual answer, no matter what the persecution was. So in essence, Cy was proclaiming the truth in love. So this was the end of my interview, 3 weeks before Cyril passed away. And it was done on February 19th of 2019. Now, I would like to just read you a few quotes of Cy. These quotes, I listened to the videos of Cy about a week ago before coming here, and I took out very interesting quotes. I just want to read a few of them to you. The baby has no voice. It's supposed to be the safest place in the womb. This clinic alone at 65 Bank Street kills about 40 to 50 babies a week. There is no safety issue. I don't care what they claim. Now this comment was made after the abortion law was put in February of 2018. I am angry that I will no longer be able to be Johnny on the spot here in front of the abortion clinic at 65 Bank to show someone the truth about abortion. Heather Mallett, the journalist for Toronto Star, wrote a libelous article about me, full of so many lies. From my point of view, it is ridiculous. She did not interview me for my side of the story. Another quote. Depicting me and pro-lifers as the violent ones is quite ironic, because they are the violent ones, obviously. They are full of aborterism in their heart. They are the ones who are doing the killing, unquote. The baby killers are the ones who come and attack me. I don't initiate conversation or communicate with them. I wait till they do, and then I give them as peaceful a response as I can by saying, love the babies in Jesus' name. God bless you with a conversion. This one's powerful. Trudeau, Cy actually had Prime Minister Justin Trudeau walk by him one day. And they had a few exchange of words, and that was it. But Cy proclaimed the truth. You know, Justin was going by as though, well, there's nothing there, you know. But Cy, I forget the words he spoke to the Prime Minister, but it was harsh to try to wake him up, you know, like, look, this is what we're doing here, you know. Anyway, here's what he said about the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, is the biggest spokesperson for the pro-choice, for their side. He is the biggest baby killer promoter in Canada. This is a form of terrorism. Terrorism of babies in the womb who are feeling the pain of abortion. And here we have a comment that gives Cyril's response to those who oppose his graphic signs. Signs, as I showed you. People would really oppose that, and Cy would respond. He responded on the YouTube interview. Why do you want me to keep secret this horror of abortion? Secrecy be damned. No, we are here in Jesus' name to save Jesus' babies. As simple as that.